Come gather round the campfire and hear our ghostly tales of chilling terrors, darkest woes, and anything that goes bump in the night. So cuddle up with your best friend or dare it alone. The darkness is closing in and spirits are calling your name. This is Fireside Phantoms. Welcome, Holly.
Welcome, Carol. How you doing?
I'm great. How about you?
I'm doing okay. So, today, what are we talking about?
I think we're going to be talking about, if I'm right, how all of our psychics are doing on their predictions. We're kind of doing a update, right? A recap.
Yeah. So you guys might remember that we did an episode at the beginning of the year about predictions for 2022. And we thought we would just go back through what some of the predictions were that some of the people that
Top
that
people.
were putting out their predictions, we kind of made a list of what they did to see how they were doing, and then we're going to review what they said, if any of that's come true, and then we're going to review what we did tarot readings on and if we've made any hits. So, and then we'll do some more tarot readings at the end that for more predictions. So, with that, Carol, what do you see first on our list here?
Well, I know we had some predictions by Judy Heavenly.
Yes.
That was our psychic from The Inquirer or something like that.
Yes.
I think she was known for her predictions for Oscar winners and things like that. And one of her predictions was pizza delivery by drone this year.
Uh-huh.
I think she hit that one. I found an article on dronedj.com which talks about Domino's pizza making history. But this was back in 2016 with the world's first delivery by drone from one of their stores in New Zealand.
Okay.
Now, they've already been delivering pizza by robots in Houston, but aerial delivery is what they're hoping now to make mainstream. So what's interesting is that the CEO is saying that this unique experience by drone will help make their pizza the freshest and hottest. But notice, Holly, he doesn't say the best tasting. But
Well, it is Domino's.
It is. Sorry, Domino's. You used to be my fave, but not anymore. So this year, they're hoping to roll out their drone deliveries in New Zealand with their drone partner, Flirty. I don't know if they have an alternate name called Skydrop, but that was like in parentheses. And
So you were saying that they did it in 2016?
They did a test.
And
they made history by doing it in 2016.
Okay.
With the world's first delivery by drone from one of their stores in New Zealand.
Okay. And now they're actually going to roll it out for real this time, and that's coming.
Yes. So this year, they are hoping to roll out their drone deliveries in New Zealand with their drone partner, Flirty, Skydrop, and they're saying it is still in delivery trials. So even though they're doing it, and it will be late this year, it'll still be kind of in a testing phase.
I want to go to New Zealand and order a Domino's pizza to have it delivered by drone.
It would be fun.
That'd be pretty cool.
Well, apparently, this has already come true by another company, Walmart. Walmart already has a 30-minute residential drone delivery live in Arkansas.
Really?
And we know they have frozen pizza, so technically
they could be doing it
you
too.
can order your frozen pizza to be delivered by Walmart if you live in Arkansas.
How long has Walmart been doing this?
It's just this year, I think.
Really?
Yeah, just this year.
That's interesting.
So this is definitely, I call this a hit.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have to see if it really takes place in New Zealand this end of the year with Domino's.
Okay. Good job, Judy Heavenly.
Good job.
Pretty good.
Judy, you're great.
Yeah.
And then she predicted, I think this was Judy, a new pandemic.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think we know what that is, right?
Monkeypox.
That's right. So the worldwide, or the World Health Network, declares now that monkeypox outbreak is an official pandemic.
Right.
So they just came out with their news reporting that it has now infected approximately 3,500 people across 42 countries. But I think...
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I think this is not going to be where people are running scared because it's just like chicken pox.
So is it very easy to catch? Do you think?
I don't know.
Because I think the thing that made COVID so scary was that everyone could catch it so easily, and now monkeypox is it like you have to like make out with a person? Like, I don't know how you catch it.
You have to eat bananas. Monkeypox.
You have to act like a monkey.
No, I don't know. But they are already working on a vaccine for that.
Okay.
So I don't know if it's going to be really a scary thing, but they're coming out with. So that's also a hit, Judy. Good job.
Good job, Judy.
What else? Tourist spaceship accident?
I haven't heard anything about that yet, but
No.
the year's not over either. So, and they
Okay.
are trying to get people up there. So,
So we'll have to keep watching for this one. We also know that Mercury retrogrades, we had 4 of them this year, or going to have 4 of them. We just got, I think we're in one right now, if not just through it.
probably.
And they, we're predicting with that problems with electronics, power issues with electricity. Our grid might be attacked, travel problems with planes.
I haven't seen any of that yet, but there's definitely been travel problems with planes, but it's more about like pilots striking and stuff. I
Yeah,
haven't heard
a
any like,
shortage
technical problems. Yeah.
And pay and all that,
Yeah.
and being overworked.
Sure.
That one, no. But as far as the power blackouts and grid attacks, I think this still could come true the end of the year. I know there was a published article on May 19th from CNN.com predicting that we will have blackouts from extreme weather and heat this summer. And they point to many experts calling for better infrastructure to survive this climate crisis, which, everybody's been touting that we really need better infrastructure for our energy grid. That's been an issue since 2021 and with what happened in Texas with their power
That's
during the
right.
winter. So I do think we need to still keep watching for this one this year.
Yeah.
And then we're to Baraka Goldsmith, right?
Okay, yeah.
That's another. She's not really a psychic. She makes predictions based on astrology, which typically astrology is really good for timing.
Okay.
But what kind of recapping her, she said that there will be in April, which that's long gone, water, floods, and huge storms. I think that is a miss, and the reason why is according to foxweather.com and other weather sites. Well, they published an article on May 2nd saying this year was actually below average for severe weather in April, despite continuously active month with multiple outbreaks. There were 2,112 combined reports of tornadoes, damaging winds, and large hail
Yeah.
in April. But typically for every year, April sees around 2,760 weather events.
Oh,
So-
okay. Well, and then when did the Yellowstone flood start?
So I do think, because she also said there will just be, major weather events in general.
Yeah.
And we know that the World Economic Forum also said, this year we're going to have just a lot of environmental crises with weather and things
Yeah.
like that. So
Right.
I do think she's right about that. I mean, my sister-in-law, she used to be a ranger in Yellowstone. She started showing pictures of massive flooding recently. I believe this happened just a couple weeks ago in June. And according to the news, about 10,000 people had to be evacuated
Yeah.
from Yellowstone. The park was closed.
Yeah, that's crazy.
There were, whole roads, bridges were destroyed, homes were swept off their foundations.
I saw a couple of videos of homes going down the river, and I was like, oh, geez, that sucks.
It was a major incident, but luckily nobody was injured from it.
That's very lucky. Yeah. I wonder how the animals are faring with it, if they're getting swept out in the water too.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Huh. Interesting.
But, I definitely think we can count on that one as being a hit.
Yeah.
For big weather events.
Sure.
April, no, but in general.
Yeah, in general. Yeah, for sure. Cool. Okay. What else did we get from her?
Let's see, more making changes around finances and security. I think people are looking to be self-sufficient, she said.
Yeah.
making personal changes for their family. This is hard to measure just with news.
Right. Yeah.
But I've talked to neighbors and things like that. I know people are looking at ways of, hey, how can we take care of ourselves?
yeah.
Because the government's not going to.
Right.
We can't rely on just everybody doing things for us.
Right. Yeah. So they're becoming more self-sufficient, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next on our list, we have Spotlight on the United States with Pluto Return, Dramatic Resolution, possibly redefining our Constitution or the foundation of how we run our country, a constitutional crisis.
Right.
Wow, what just happened, Holly?
Gosh, it seems like the news has been pretty quiet lately.
Especially with the Supreme Court.
Supreme Court's not
It's
doing
just
much.
not, they're on vacation, I
guess,
think.
I suppose.
Guys,
Yeah, no, that's
like,
not true.
I think that's a hit.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how this is going to play out because this is just so recent, but Roe versus Wade ruling that was overturned just happened, allowing now the states control
abortion
rights.
whether you can have it or
abortion.
not, or what
And-
terms you can have it under, that type of thing. Yeah.
And we can also possibly see more rulings for Second Amendment gun rights or gun
Yeah.
control
Yeah.
laws. So I think this is heating up,
Yeah.
if not playing into
Yeah.
this prediction, and that's a hit.
Yeah.
I think
I'd say
that's happening.
That's a big hit. Yeah, I'd say so.
Possible civil war? No, not yet.
Not yet. Possible agreements with banks, overhaul of Federal Reserve currency is changing. Yeah.
I believe that. And the World Economic Forum at Davos, I think they just had their meeting there last month. They announced they are working toward a global digital currency, and they definitely want to eliminate the use of cash. So that they're putting that out there.
That
Like
scares
that is their agenda. And this is insane. This is truly frightening. I saw many places during the lockdown not accepting cash anymore. You know, just because they were saying, well, it's dirty.
It's
you know, it spreads
contactless.
disease.
We want
and-
contactless payment. Right.
Yeah, and I already know we've practically eliminated coins. I never carry change anymore. Do you?
I do, because where I go into work, I
Yeah.
sometimes have to pay a coin meter to park. So I do have coins.
Oh, that's right.
yeah.
I mean, I think there is possibility of the overhaul of like the reserve currency. And I think if it happens later, we'll just have to keep our eye on it. You know, we do have lots of news reports about crypto.
Yeah.
Countries are moving away from the dollar. So we'll keep our eyes
I
on
heard
that.
the crypto was losing in the stock market, like it crashed or something.
Yeah. Well, a bunch of things crashed.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's definitely, crypto's always been pretty volatile, but people are still investing in it. And
It's probably going to be the wave of the future, probably.
yeah. So now we are to Nostradamus.
Yes. Nostradamus.
Death of a dictator, he predicted.
Not yet.
Nope.
Not that
yet.
I've seen.
Nope.
Fire from the sky shall fall. Haven't seen anything like that yet.
Nope. Nostradamus, you're terrible. You're not.
Though it
hitting
is a
them.
really hot day today, so
Yeah.
maybe that's what he's referring to.
Me falling from the sky on fire. Invasion of France?
Not yet.
Nope.
Inflation. Heck yeah.
Okay, that's a hit.
That's a huge hit.
Wheat
Inflation.
high. Yes, this is happening so much
Yeah.
throughout everything. I mean, food
Yes.
prices are scary
Food,
high.
gas, housing.
Yep.
All of it is just on fire.
And this one for sure, he's gotten, except for humans will eat each other. Food shortages.
Food shortages. And I hear they're coming more so like October, November.
Well, the head of the United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres made a dire warning in June that the world is going to have a catastrophe of a global hunger crisis due to the shortage of food. He attributes this to climate change, coronavirus, disruptions in supply distribution due to the war in Ukraine and the pandemic. What he didn't mention was the 25 food and fertilizer facilities that were destroyed recently
Weird.
from a variety of strange circumstances.
That's very, very, very strange.
And according to, different articles like Huffington Post and things like that, these facilities, were mysteriously caught on fire, some exploded, some,
Yeah.
had a plane crash. But according to Reuters.com, all of these production plants that were destroyed were an accident. They were coincidental, stating that these are just conspiracy theories that they were attacked purposely.
I could believe that if it's a couple of them, but how many were there that went down?
25?
25
Just this year.
coincidences?
Yeah.
Come on.
And
That's just ridiculous.
they said that, a lot of plants catch fire, though. And they said that this is quite common.
It is?
So they said it is because many facilities have hazards that can make these plants catch fire. And they said that the one plant that had the plane crash into it, it was misreported. It actually crashed into the parking lot. So that doesn't count
Oh.
because it wasn't into the plant itself.
Okay.
So, we can't count that one. So I just love how they try and dispute the suspicion about it. Like, oh, this happens all the time. But I think it's just alarming considering that it's just so often. I mean, maybe it happens, but I have
it
a
seems
hard
like
time
it'd be
believing.
a big safety risk to have a factory like that then.
I mean, even in Oregon alone, we've had 3 this year caught fire. I mean, the big one, Shearer's Foods. I mean, that plant just exploded in Hermiston, Oregon. And
I remember that. Yeah.
back in end of February,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
I think that's a hit. I think we're going to have severe food. I've already, the baby formula has already
Right.
been
It's
an
already
issue.
disappeared. And God, I hope you bought your toilet paper because that's going to probably be
Oh,
the
God.
next thing to go. Yeah. Fuck.
All right.
So
next.
Nikki from Toronto
Yay,
was one of the
Nikki.
ones I looked at. She said a horse was going to run through Toronto. Now, I didn't find any evidence of that, but I did find a story about a police horse that took off. And they found it later and they got it back to the police. But like it was just kind of walking around, but it wasn't running through Toronto. I think it was just meandering around through Toronto.
And I know there was that story in Canada. I don't know if it was Toronto, but the horse that trampled the lady protesting.
I didn't hear about that one.
She's okay, though. She
Yeah.
lived.
Oh, good. Nikki from Toronto also said there was going to be a major market crash. Hey, Nikki, good job. That happened at the end of March, or
Yep.
it's
End
been
of March.
happening, but yeah, it's definitely that's a hit for sure.
Yep.
She suggested World War III would start. No.
No.
She suggested more protests would happen, which correct.
Yep.
That
Now,
just
for
happened.
sure.
Yes.
What else?
She said COVID will be over by the end of the year. Right now, we're still having outbreaks of COVID, but maybe by the end of the year, it seems to be fading away from the headlines in the news every day. It
Right.
seems to be less. I hear a lot of people still getting it, but they bounce back from it quick because it is just. I think it's diluted. The virus is maybe less toxic
potent.
as it was.
Mm-hmm.
So the variants that are running around now, people are getting are just like a flu or a cold.
What else?
People will party like it's the roaring 20s. And I
Okay.
think that's true. People are maskless and braless and they're
Yep.
having a great time.
People
out
are
there.
traveling and, yep.
Let those girls out. Okay. Largest sea turtles will be discovered. I haven't heard anything about that.
No, not yet.
Not yet. A penguin will save a person. I haven't heard about that, but I did find a cute little story that is not from 2022 about a little penguin named Jinjin who
Oh.
lived in Brazil. He was found, he got washed up on the beach in Brazil in this little village, and
Yeah.
this fisherman found him, and he had oil all over his body. And so the fisherman took him and cleaned him up and fed him fish because he was near death. Oh gosh, I'm looking at the video on YouTube. It has over 12 million views.
Oh my gosh.
So anyways, he cleaned up this little penguin.
People love their penguins.
They do. And he got it some fish and got it into good health. And then he like after about a week, he's like, okay, I'm going to release the penguin. So he put it in the boat and he drove it to another island, dropped it off. He comes back a little bit later and guess who's at his house? The penguin.
Are you kidding me?
The penguin figured out how to come home. He's like, oh, hey, you've left me back at that island. I knew you didn't mean to do that. So anyway, the penguin stayed with him for many more months. And then the penguin left. And it was gone for like half a year. And then it came back. And each year, the penguin will leave, I think in June or something. He's gone for like 6 months. He comes back and he hangs out with this fisherman. And the fisherman is the only one the penguin will allow to pick him up, to pet him, to feed him, to
That's
give him showers.
adorable
Yeah,
story.
it's very cute. So I guess people think the penguin imprinted on this guy. But
Yeah.
where he goes, they don't really know. They think he's going down to Chile to breed, which is like 5,000 miles away.
Wow.
And then he comes back. He makes his Odyssey trek every year to come back and visit this fisherman.
So that's a great story,
it's a
even
great
though that's
story.
not
It's
exactly
not,
the prediction, but
But
that's
I
cool.
wanted to just say he's kind of a penguin who's kind of saved a person because they love each other.
I know they do
They
love
love
each
each other.
other.
The fisherman's like, he's like one of my kids. I love him. It's very cute.
I like that story.
We'll put a link to the YouTube video. You guys can make it at 12,000,001.
That's right.
Who watch it. So anyway, earthquakes. She said we'd have
Earthquakes.
big earthquakes between 9.6 and 9.8, but not that we've had that yet.
Not yet. I would like to do the cards on this one because I do think we're going to see a big earthquake.
Oh God.
I mean, okay, Holly. Maybe we won't. Maybe we won't do the cards on that. But I'm curious because everybody keeps saying we're due. We're due.
Oh,
we're
we're
due
overdue.
for Oregon and California. And I just want to know.
I don't have a survival kit yet.
Do you
so.
want to know? I want to know. What's next?
Justin Trudeau will divorce and step down.
Oh, wait, we skipped one.
Yeah, a meteorite will hit the earth, but there will be no devastation. I don't think I've seen or heard
Nope.
anything about that.
Nope.
Justin Trudeau will divorce and step down. Not
yet.
Adele gets engaged. Okay, so I found an article that basically said she wore a big diamond ring on her ring finger.
Oh.
And when asked if she was engaged, she played coy and didn't really answer.
Interesting.
And when she married her first husband, she also did that very privately. So she might be engaged. And she's told people that she wants to have another baby. So
that might be a
the
hit.
speculation that could be true.
Okay.
So Queen of England dies. Charles takes over.
And this prediction was for June. And I think what's interesting about this is that, okay, we know she's not dead, right? We've
Right.
just saw her at the,
Jubilee. Was
the
the Jubilee? or
Platinum
whatever?
Jubilee pageant that just took place in June.
Mm-hmm.
I do think this prediction of Prince Charles taking over will happen this year. I found an article, well, all kinds of news places were reporting on it. People.com reported on this pageant that took place saying that Prince Charles' future role as king was visible to everyone. So Queen Elizabeth made it very clear who was in charge. She made very few appearances during the 4-day festival, and Prince Charles took over the lead, including the salute on horseback. He
Okay.
also led the tributes during the platinum party at the palace. So
Yeah.
she's making this transition very visible and apparent, letting everyone get used to seeing Charles as his role being King of England. And I just think it's really curious that all of this took place in June.
Okay.
So I think that's cool that the timing happened then. But obviously that's a miss. The Queen of England
She's
has
still
not
alive.
died.
Right.
So
Okay.
we're going to have to watch on that.
Okay. Meghan and Harry still in controversy and may divorce. I didn't see anything, but they're always in the news for something, and so I haven't really seen anything. So
They're pretty quiet right now.
and I haven't heard about them divorcing.
No, and I
So-
think news is pretty quiet about them right now. There's no talk about them from the family. It's like the royal family's ignoring them right now.
Yeah. Did
Although
go
they did make an appearance to
to the Jubilee thing?
They did.
Yeah,
they were
did go
there.
to that.
Yeah.
Okay. Psychic Spectrum. They were the nice couple that lives up the street here in like Federal Way. They
Okay.
said U.S. politics will explode in October. Well, we don't
Not
know
there
yet.
yet.
Wouldn't surprise me though, because that's going to be midterms time. You know.
Yep,
Chaos in France has been major protesting.
that's a hit.
Oh, is it? Are they protesting? in
Yeah,
France?
they're always protesting.
Yeah, it's
France
true.
is crazy right now. But
yeah.
especially during elections and stuff. So
Okay. And then downswing of the stock market, which we've already said is yes. The stock market's been
Yes.
volatile. So then tarot by Janine, she had said people are going to quit their jobs and pursue creativity, which is hard to measure, but I think that's true. A lot of people are rethinking what they want to do. So we have a lot of jobs available, not a lot of people who are willing to do them anymore. She said people will become educated about money, We will seek financial independence. People will control their own money and take it back from the government. Boundaries developing and demanding of rights. Exposure to things happening to kids.
I'm not
Trafficking issues.
sure. I'm not sure that's come into more light this year. I think it's been an issue for the last couple of years. So I mean, she's not super specific, and so that's hard.
Yeah.
You know, it's generally, yes, we know there's trafficking issues. But I don't know exactly what she's referring to. So
Yeah.
we'll just have to
Yeah.
follow that one.
She said people will be disappointed.
That is for sure, Holly. I'm disappointed a lot. The other day, Salt and Straw. I know you've been there.
I have yesterday I was there,
You know, they discontinue one of my very favorite flavors,
which was
vegan strawberry, and I just was so sad.
so secrets about health, maybe COVID-19 information. And so, yeah.
So recently, the vaccine company Pfizer was recently forced to release its safety documents.
Yes.
Those were originally planned. I mean, they were trying to prevent it from being disclosed for like 75 years. So it's interesting. So these documents are being released in batches. So they're expecting a total of about 50,000 pages.
Wow.
And so there are some interesting things coming out. One of the first things that's surprising is that they were originally trying to plan for the vaccine to be an actual vaccine preventing the disease, not just reducing symptoms.
Yeah.
So they were really trying to do that, but they also showed many, many flawed trial methods.
Yeah.
And they were trying to silence safety concerns by preventing this from being released. And 9 pages of really alarming side effects and injuries. So
Yeah.
I would say this is a hit.
Yeah. I think
on
so.
this.
I think so. Yeah, for sure. She also said we will have more fulfilling relationships. Things will get smaller and local, so local businesses will thrive. I'm not seeing that in a big way yet, but I'm excited for that to be true. I want that to be true.
I do see, like, there was a couple of businesses that went out of business during COVID, and I am seeing new businesses coming back.
Oh,
like
good.
new businesses coming, you know, getting those buildings back, and not our downtown area, really.
No,
so
that
much.
won't come back for a long time, but we're somewhat unique in that respect. So, yeah.
What else?
The next thing she said was that travel would open back up in March,
That's a hit.
but April 20th was when the mask mandates were dropped on airplanes, I believe.
Well, because we flew down to Arizona 1st of April,
And we still had to wear 'em.
We were wearing masks. I think it was shortly after that.
Yeah, I think it was a few weeks. So I'm reading an article from ABC News. It says April 19th, 2022. These airlines companies have ended mask mandates after federal ruling. So
Okay.
I think that's about right.
That's
So
a hit.
Travel did open up in March, but probably even more so when the mask stuff stopped and people felt more
End
comfortable.
of March.
Yeah.
Or no, I mean, end of April. I'm sorry, end of April.
She also said there's going to be a big victory. People will wake up. I don't know what the big victory would be or what that is referring to.
Okay, not sure.
Economy will rebuild locally. Hopefully that will be true. People that we thought died will come back. So I don't know. I haven't
No
seen
sign.
anyone rise from the dead.
Haven't
so
seen any of this
that
yet.
was a little of a very strange one. But if there's anyone who we thought was dead,
Please contact us.
yes, let us know. If you thought we thought you were dead, please let us know. Okay. New information about the Queen will come out.
I got a funny story on that one.
Yeah.
So I was like trying to find research information for any new information about her. One came out that she got a short haircut, which is super unusual for her. She usually wears her hair the same, like for a decade. She's
for
been wearing
a century almost.
Yeah, her hairstyle has been the same forever.
Right.
Well, all of a sudden, she got this super, super short haircut, which is completely different for her.
It's funny.
So that's new. That's new.
Okay.
No,
new information.
I don't know. I don't know if that qualifies.
We will take control of our food, grow it ourselves, go to more farmers markets. That'd be awesome. I think more people are, especially with food shortages.
I
Yeah,
think people are doing
I
that.
think people will do that.
Yeah.
People will ultimately be more abundant. I'm not sure about
no.
this year.
I don't think
'cause
I'm more abundant this
We're
year.
not more abundant. We're losing
Money.
money because
Yeah.
everything's so expensive. But she did say they will have some setbacks. Yes, that's right. We are having setbacks.
Mhm. Yes, definitely.
Yep. So, Carol,
Yes.
you did your tarot reading on the economy.
I did.
Let us-
Well, and I also had some thoughts too on like this year. I thought like maybe people were going to be having more closure to relationships, past relationships. I also felt like people were going to have more insight and downloads, seeing more synchronicity in their life, and maybe having really intense like prophetic dreams. Again, this is really hard to measure if
Yeah.
people are having that. I mean,
Right.
I'd have to like do a wide survey, and so
Right.
who knows?
Sure.
But I know I've had some crazy dreams lately.
I know. I've had some weird ones too.
It's been bizarre.
Yeah.
I also predicted this would be a good year as far as numerology for letting go of bad habits. No. That is not happening. As a matter of fact, Americans are drinking 14% more daily.
I saw that in that article.
Yeah, I sent you that. And
Yeah.
drug overdoses
Yeah.
have increased substantially.
People are stressed
You
out.
know, their treatment's not readily available either, with short staffing and mental health. So I think that, I mean, we still have more of the year to go, but really for what's being shown to me, people are not letting go of their bad habits. They're embracing them.
Yeah, it's true.
One other prediction I kind of made was some people will choose to move on and leave the planet. I do think we're seeing more loved ones passing.
I agree. I think you and I ourselves have lost people this year. So
Right.
absolutely. Yeah.
And then I had that crazy, I see 3 words, Nintendo,
Yeah.
nuclear nuts, and whatever. I came across an article by Bloomberg.com recently that announced through their, and also BusinessInsider.com that announced Nintendo shares fell 6%. Well, I think everybody's stocks kind of fell.
Yeah, I agree.
But they're pointing it to Zelda sequel being delayed to 2023.
Not Zelda.
Zelda. Everybody wants Zelda. And they also had a delay to their big Mario Brother movie.
Oh.
And I think they were supposed to have a big opening in like Universal Studios with their big Nintendo. That's been postponed for a while. So they're really feeling a lot of things being delayed, and that might be really affecting their profitability this year.
Sure.
However, a lot of people are thinking this is just going to be a short decline. They'll bounce back, and we'll see. We'll just keep posted if there's anything else this year. My other prediction was nuclear scare.
Yeah.
The New York Times and the Washington Post both reported on nuclear fears regarding the Chernobyl plant losing its power and being occupied by Russia. And
Right.
they continue to say it's a real threat. They came out with an article published on May 25th by USIP.org saying, without a clear U.S. reply to Putin's nuclear threat, it could signal other governments that they should ramp up their nuclear defense.
Great.
So, I mean, this is becoming the talk this year. So I think that's a hit.
I think
I mean,
that's a
it's
hit.
not the
Yeah.
fear of like, oh God, we're all going to have radiation, but I didn't get a clear sense of what that was. I just knew there was fear over it.
Anytime there's a government that might start ramping up their nuclear capabilities, it's a threat.
Yeah, and then my last thing is nuts. I said that people who are not usually nutty will go nutty this year. I think I nailed this. The Atlantic even reported on March 30th, 2022, a headline stating, "Why are people acting so weird?"
Yeah.
Pointing to the unruly passenger incidents on planes and the much talked about Will Smith smacking Chris Rock at the Oscars.
Right.
There was the whole Amber Heard,
Johnny Depp.
Johnny Depp, saga.
Sure.
And then something completely out of his character. Elon Musk was smoking on Joe Rogan's show.
That was a couple years
dope.
ago.
Oh, it wasn't
Yeah.
recent. Okay.
No, that wasn't recent.
But you know what was recent? His strange behavior over Twitter. Buying that
the
whole
fact
thing.
that he tried to buy Twitter
yeah,
is
that is nuts.
it's kind of funny. I mean,
That's crazy.
great, but why would anybody want to buy Twitter?
I know. I don't know. Just
not a
because they
fan.
can.
Yeah, I
Because
guess.
they can, I guess. but-
Probably. I think he was probably trying to say, you know what? No. And honestly, he's right. It is a town square place where you go and you voice your opinions and that sort of thing. But yeah, he kind of. Then it was interesting because as he's been trying to look at all of its assets, he's finding all those bots.
Yeah. I
Those
know.
bots of people who aren't real.
They're not even real. So he's brought to light some funky shit.
Showing
that we-
Twitter is not as powerful as maybe we all thought it was.
Yeah, and then I found a report that healthcare workers are also reporting patients acting more violent.
Yeah.
In one hospital in Missouri, the nurses are being given panic buttons to press if they
That's
need help.
sad.
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
Emily Durkheim, a 20th century scholar, said, quote, "We are moral beings to the extent that we are social beings." So this article that said, why are people acting this way? If we lose our social links, we stop being moral too, and more self-centered, prioritizing our own world, our own needs, even if it means the demise of others. And this is why possibly people are acting out. Every man or woman for themselves kind of thing.
Yeah.
And they're stressed.
Yeah.
I think inflation concerns, all the
Yes.
concerns. I mean, it's stressing
Yes.
people out.
I think our homeless problem here will get bigger because the cost of living here in Oregon is really blown up to such a level that I don't know. I can't imagine it's going to get any better homeless wise.
Yeah, and as far as the economy, when we did the tarot showed money being mishandled. I don't know if exactly what that's referring to. I know, like we had said earlier in the show, some people are upset we're sending billions to certain causes, like maybe the war, but then helping small businesses we're really stingy about.
Yeah.
So it just seems like people have big disagreements on how we're handling our money in general.
Sure.
So I think that's coming true. Also, the card showed we're pulling our resources and partnerships, pooling together. I do see this happening. I came across an interesting thing happening where, the cost of homes are so high.
Yes.
And people are looking for safe investments.
Sure.
And the stock market right now is not that safe. So what's happening is several families are pooling their money and they're going in on buying investment properties, almost like a privately run timeshare. So that way they're sharing it for each other to have for vacation time, or also as an investment. But they're able to afford it because they can pool their money with other investors. So I see more and more of this happening. People getting roommates, renting out rooms in order to pay their rent or mortgage.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
And Holly, please tell us how your tarot reading predictions
I mean,
have gone.
everything I've said has happened.
Yeah, I know.
So.
Kamala is the savior of humanity.
Stop.
Not.
Okay.
No, I'm sorry.
I did mine on how will politics go. I think I said we would be more community centered, which I
Yes.
think we are. I think
Yes.
that's starting to definitely happen. People are talking to each other more. You're coming together more with your neighbors. It's becoming a little bit, I think people
I
are
think
coming
so.
out of the COVID haze and they're starting
yeah.
to reconnect for sure.
I'm actually being invited to neighborhood parties now.
Yeah, I heard you're very
That's
popular.
never happened. That's never happened.
Just give it time; it'll go away.
They'll find out who I really am.
Local businesses will be promoted. I'm hoping that's going to start happening more and more, but I think we're, like I said, slowly coming out of it. And people
Yep.
are trying. I know there's a lot of restaurants in town that are back up and running, and that's exciting to see. Let's see. I did say Kamala Harris would eventually become president. That has not happened yet, but I
No.
do hear kind of online that people will be surprised if Biden were to run again.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
she might end up before
Taking over.
before the next presidential election. She might. So,
So we'll just have to watch and see.
yep. I said the economy will be good, but that's a definite no so far this year. I think it's stabilizing, but I think because of inflation and I think because of the cost of living and all the other things that you mentioned earlier about why we have inflation, I think it's going to cause it to be difficult to know how to spend your money, especially with gas prices and everything like that. So it's stabilized. Is it good? I would say it's not, because we're getting gouged to death with financial stuff.
We do have a few months left, though.
Yeah, we do.
Who knows?
Overhaul of our American system, that has not happened yet, but that could always happen later in the year, especially around election time, the midterms, people being upset about what may or may not be in October, November. So
Right.
I said build abundance, illuminate a path forward. merge spiritual and material together. I'm not really sure what I meant by that. Bring into balance, bring together. It
Yes.
seems like we're coming back into a little bit better of a balance.
I know things have calmed down here in Portland.
Yeah.
At least I'm not hearing the helicopters over my house every night anymore.
Yeah.
And and like I said, I do think people are listening to one another now more.
I hope
I
so.
think
Yeah.
I think at least we've gotten over kind of just screaming at each other and understanding kind of, hey, we got to kind of stop the extreme
The
beliefs.
extreme bantering back and forth
Yeah.
and just stop and listen. And there's a lot of people out there in the world that are trying to open the door for those conversations.
I
So
think
that's
so.
kind of exciting to see.
Yeah.
Because I think that will help us to maybe come to an agreement on what we need to do to move forward as a country.
I agree. So
So.
that's a wrap for our.
For our past prediction show.
That's right.
So, Carol, we're moving on into the next cycle. So, what would you like to read the cards on for our next tarot prediction?
Earthquakes.
Carol will do earthquakes, so we're going to have some big ones coming.
Yes.
And this is for the rest of 2022.
just the rest of 2022.
So, and I will do if Elon Musk will end up buying Twitter. And then we're both going to read on the Supreme Court to see if the Democrats will add new justices to the court.
Expand
Expand the court.
the court.
Yes. So we will be right back with our predictions. All right, Carol, we did our readings. What'd you get?
Shifty. I am reading from the Haunted House Tarot,
Ooh.
or Tarot of the Haunted House,
Yay.
by Sasha Graham and Mirko. I'm sorry, I'm gonna butcher your last name. Pierre B. Federici.
Oh my God.
Pierre Federici. Pierre Federici.
It
All
seems
right,
to me like
whatever.
that would be easy to say. I'm not really sure.
It's hard.
Why you had to butcher it.
Okay, so I'm sorry. This is a cool deck, though. I love it.
I bet.
It's like a big haunted house. So the first card I drew is the Queen of Swords. The second card is the
Oh.
Eight of Wands, and
Yeah.
the last card is the Sun.
Ask them what the question was for those cards.
Oh, okay. So I drew this saying, are we in the United States going to have an earthquake above 9.0 the rest of this year, just for this year?
Right.
And these are the three cards I pulled: the Queen of Swords, the Eight of Wands, and the Sun card, which is a major arcana. So based on this, I'm going to say no, we are not, because these are all pretty good cards.
Yeah, those are pretty positive.
They're pretty positive.
Yeah.
Um,
Especially that Sun card.
Yeah, the Sun usually is just one of the most positive cards in the deck. And since that's kind of in third position, I would say probably not. We could still have a big earthquake, but not over 9.0.
Right.
All right. Now, I then pose the same question to the rest of the world. And these cards are telling a different story. I got the Three of Swords, the Nine of Wands, and the Ten of Cups. So Three of Swords.
Three of Swords.
And that is the first card I drew. And that usually denotes, panic, heartache, grief, a really bad circumstance, people getting injured. I mean, it's not a good card to have. The Nine of Wands is the second card I drew, and that literally means escaping from your problems, escaping a bad situation. So to me, that means people are able to escape. People will maybe have a short heads up and be able to get out of their homes or get out from the situation, because the last card is the Ten of Cups, and that's a really positive card for family and happiness. And it can denote, like Holly was saying, because she saw the cards that I pulled, and you said that might be families having to move in together to help one another after.
That's my theory, was that they'd have to come in and share a home.
And then the last clarifying card I pulled, just to say why this happy card after all of that, is the Two of Pentacles, which I see that as resources coming to help afterwards. So, and the card I drew for where this might be happening shows a coastal town somewhere. We don't know. Maybe Italy, maybe Japan. It could be even somewhere else, but
Yeah.
a stormy place. It shows a woman looking out off the coast, sitting on a rock. So
Yeah. There you go. Well, that's great. So, not if you live in a coastal town,
yeah,
but
good news for us, bad news for you, world.
we just lost all of our listeners from coastal towns.
Bad news for you,
Yeah.
world.
Huh. Interesting.
But that's what the cards are saying. So we'll
Okay.
see.
Okay.
What else?
I did the question of Elon Musk and if he's going to actually buy Twitter. And I am using the Lightseers Tarot by Chris Ann, which is like my one of my favorite
Yay.
decks that there
Totally.
is. Yeah.
The best.
Yes. So the first card I chose was Seven of Wands, which is perfect because that's exactly what happened when Elon Musk came out and said he was going to buy Twitter. He got a lot of blowback. He got a lot of people who were angry with him and a lot of attacks. And so in the card of the Seven of Wands, it kind of shows you're taking on a lot of people who are angry and upset with you and attacking your reputation. But in this card, it shows that he's above that. And so he's not really bothered by it too much. But there's definitely a big pushback about his intention to buy Twitter.
That's right.
Yeah, that definitely already happened. And then the next card was the Eight of Swords, which tells me that this has been a very stressful situation for him
Yes.
that he stepped into. He's definitely mentally tortured by this. I think he's got a lot of people around him giving him advice or telling him what to do or what not to do. He's getting pulled in a lot of different directions and it's tying him up. He doesn't quite know what to do, but as we know, as he's been investigating Twitter, he's finding out more information about it, if it's really a good investment or not for him.
Yeah, a lot of
So-
the, like what you said, the bot.
The
things.
bots are not half their users, but there's a big percentage of bots that are on Twitter that aren't even real people. So getting that information's been interesting. So he's just kind of being wound up about, am I really making a good decision here? Should I really go forward with this? Do I really want to be the policeman for free speech? You know, that type of thing.
Yeah.
But I do think he ultimately does buy it because I get the Justice card as my third card. And to me, that is somebody who is on the right path, on the right track, doing the right thing, bringing balance and restoring justice to a situation. And I think he's going to bring Twitter back into balance. And I know there's a lot of controversy over what people believe, if it's in balance or not in balance, and freedom of speech and all of those things. But it is very much a town square marketplace for ideas and free speech. So
yeah, and it's valuable.
And it's valuable. It does offer a lot that people use it for communication and expressing their belief systems. So I think he's going to bring it back into balance and he's going to make it more of a just place. I actually pulled one more card as a clarifying card, which was the Hangman. So for me, the Hangman tells me I think he's basically going to be putting himself in the same position that Jack Dorsey was in, that was the ex-CEO of Twitter.
Yes.
Where he's going to come under a lot of fire for doing this and not doing that. He might have some perception shifts about Twitter, but ultimately I think he might feel stuck doing a job that he wasn't necessarily interested in, but I think he wanted to prove a point by buying it.
Yeah.
But he might kind of be stuck
Regret it.
there. He might regret it. He might. I don't think his ambition is to become a police officer for freedom of speech, but I think by buying this, he might be putting himself in that position. He might have to sacrifice things to keep this going that he didn't want to sacrifice. But yeah, that's ultimately, I think, where Elon is going to head with his purchase of Twitter.
Good luck, Elon.
Good luck, Elon. Godspeed. Okay, we'll be right back with our spread on the Supreme Court.
All right. So I know that there's 9 justices, right, on the bench right now.
Yeah.
And interestingly enough, I drew 3 cards. One is the 6 of Pentacles, and the second is the 3rd of Wands. What does that total up to? 6 plus 3?
9.
Yes. Hello. And then the last card I drew was the Death card.
Oh, interesting.
So I think, just my general intuition on this is that they possibly will want to have this happen where they expand, but in the end it won't go through. The Death card it's not going to happen. But they might be talking about it, might be trying to put it forth, might be trying to get that passed.
I think I got essentially exactly what you got because
Oh, wow.
not the same cards, but the same interpretation.
What cards did you get?
I drew the Empress, which to me is a card of motherly protection and abundance. It's a pregnancy card.
Pregnancy.
It's a pregnancy card, which is really weird. Then you get the King of Pentacles. I think that is, and I'm going to show you the card because it shows him sitting here looking at his big money.
because the Empress is like trying to grow something bigger.
Yes,
so
she's
that's the
trying
starting
to
spot.
expand the court
Yeah,
because she wants to protect women's reproduction rights, right?
yeah, that's so interesting.
So the King of Pentacles, who I think in this represents Joe Biden, is looking at this and is trying to figure out a strategy to do this. And there's money involved. And how do I actually manifest this? So there is an definite
Agenda.
intent. There's a
Intent.
definite intent to do this, but we get the Page of Cups next. And to me, the Page of Cups is this idea of emotion, creativity, but there isn't a focus. There isn't a plan. There isn't. There's just this energy that we need to do this, and it's chaotic and it's upside down. And so there's like this big rumbling push to get onto that Supreme Court or to pack that Supreme Court. But because it's so disjointed and unorganized, I got a clarifying card of the Five of Pentacles, which shows me that it fails.
Yeah.
At least it fails for now, because there isn't a streamlined way of doing this.
It's never been done before.
I think they're going to have trouble with it legally.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be not done in the most intelligent and sophisticated way because there's too much emotion that is going to create this chaos that's going to be too
Explosive for our country.
it's
to go
and too
through.
convoluted, and it's going to be too not thought well out enough for it to actually happen. So ultimately I think it will not go through.
Yeah. Wow, interesting. We both got the same interpretation.
Different cards, but the same interpretation.
Well, so guys, thanks for listening. We'll have to just
Yeah, we'll have to wait
keep
and see.
watching
Wait and
everything
see.
on all these predictions and
Yes.
seeing how they play out for the rest of the year.
And if there's anything you guys want us to read on, let us know via you can send us an email. You can go on Instagram and talk to us or Facebook.
Yeah,
And let us know if there's something you would love for us to pull cards on and we can check it out.
we can. And
Awesome. Bye.
as the flames die down, do remain undaunted.
Though all hitchhikers are ghosts,
And all dolls are definitely haunted.
hey guys, be sure to follow us on Instagram. Our handle is @FiresidePhantoms. If you have a spooky story you would like to share with us, send it to firesidephantoms@gmail.com and you may hear it on a future episode.